My name is Andrea.
And I'm MJ.
And we are the Laps Down podcast. And this is an extra special episode of Lapped Traffic. If you're new here, Lapped Traffic is a series we do with, folks that are, in the inner circle or the inner oval, might you say, of friends of the pod. And today is a very special friend of the pod, and we'll get into that eventually. But we were kindly invited by ECR, Ed Carpenter Racing, which is an IndyCar team, to go and hang out with them yesterday, Monday the 19th, which was the last practice day. Really, it's like right after qualifying. They have another practice day, and it's kind of like they are practicing maybe more of race pace and getting behind other cars, whereas other practice sessions are a little bit more focused on qualifying. I don't know why I needed to go into that much detail. I don't know. Some of you guys are new IndyCar fans. I'm trying my best. They had this amazing suite in the Turn 2 suites, which was such a cool place to watch from, that they let us hang out in. They let us go to their garages and see them setting up the cars for practice. And they also let us hang out with Christian for a little bit, make some social content. And they also were kind enough to let us have Christian on the podcast. But we'll get to that eventually. This was my first time at IMS, and I have to say I 100% get the magic. IMS is such a cool place. It was also cool getting to see qualifying, the second day of qualifying, getting to see, the top 12 and the fast 6 really put in some amazing speeds. Less fun during the last chance qualifier, but we talked about that during our last episode. Had a little less fun. We are extremely grateful to ECR for giving us this opportunity, and we talk a little bit to Christian about his busy schedule that they have during the month of May, but I can't stress enough how kind they are to make any part of their day for us. So if you're I don't know who to root for the Indy 500, we have the perfect episode for you right here. We're going to cut to a little interview we literally just did with Christian Rasmussen from ECR. And you guys are going to want to root for him as much as we do. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Lapped Traffic. We have an extremely special guest with us today. I don't know, Christian, if you want to take it away and introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Christian Rasmussen. I drive the number 21 Splenda Chevrolet for Ed Carpenter Racing in the NTT IndyCar Series.
And Christian was kind enough to let me film some TikToks and stuff with him yesterday, and I got to see the ECR garages and meet some of the people that work for ECR, and they have been extremely kind enough to let us talk to him today, and our first driver on Lap Traffic, so no pressure for us, not you. This weekend is the Indy 500. It's the grand finale of the month of May. How are you feeling heading into the race, just generally? How has your time been in Indianapolis? I saw you have a nice temporary home that you might be sad to give up, but how has the Indy 500 experience been for you so far?
It's been good. We've had we've had an okay month. We've definitely had a couple of bumps along the road, you could say. But I think we have a quick race car. We missed it a little bit in qualifying, so I think we qualified worse than probably what we had the speed to do. So yeah, I'm excited about the race. I'm excited to see what we can do. I think we can move forward and looking to do just that.
Perfect. The month of May really showcases the superpowers of IndyCar drivers on the track, obviously, but off the track with the insane media schedule it seems like you go through, and fully acknowledging that we are a part of the media schedule. Sorry about that. But we've always kind of talked between ourselves, what is that like from a driver's perspective? Is that something that kind of seems like at points it could be too much to handle? Are there events that you're super excited for?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It depends on the day and depends on the event, right? I think there's definitely a lot during the month of May, but I think it's part of it. I think it's super cool. I think I love that people are so passionate about it, so that they want to tell other people and kind of spread the word, and I think at the end of the day, it's only good for us drivers that there's a lot of eyeballs on the sport, and that sort of stuff helps with that. I remember very vividly from last year being my first Indianapolis 500. Just if you're in a driver's suit at IMS, in May, you feel like an absolute rock star. Like you can't stand outside. Yeah, you'll know. Like you were there yesterday. You can't stand
Yeah, you
outside
made
of
quite an audience.
yeah, you can't stand outside the garage for more than a couple of minutes before there's a group of 10, 15, 20 people wanting your autograph and wanting you to sign stuff and all kinds of stuff, pictures and whatever. But I don't know. I think it's also part of what makes the Indianapolis 500 so special is that all the passion that there is from the fans, and yeah, being there on race day with 350,000 people more on race day is just it's indescribable, you know.
You mentioned last year being your first Indy 500. What are you kind of taking as lessons learned from that this time around, or does the hybrid kind of throw all of that for a loop? Is there things that's applicable from last year as like lessons learned for this year?
Yeah, there's definitely lessons that's applicable, but it's for me it's very much taking the month as a whole. You know, I went into it last year without really knowing what to expect. You know, you're obviously told all this and that about how it's going to go and how busy it's going to get and all these things, but before you've actually been through it, you don't really understand what it is. Um, so yeah, just leaning on last year, going into this year, knowing what more to expect, you can kind of go in with a little bit more chill, just knowing what to expect a little bit more. Not chill in the way of not working hard at it, but you know, just knowing what to expect a little bit more. You don't have to have all these I guess nerves going into your first one. So I think that helped me a lot, just having been through it all, knowing what to expect, and knowing kind of how it all goes along the month.
Over the weekend, we all watched, obviously, the qualifying broadcast, and this is actually a question we get a lot when we're trying to get people into IndyCar, is kind of about like how the teammates situation work. They really emphasized it during qualifying that teammates are kind of, you get a lot of information from each other, but we were wondering, what makes you and Alexander Rossi such good teammates? Like, how does that dynamic work in the Indy 500 previously and hopefully onwards?
Yeah, I think first of all, I think me and Alex are pretty similar in a way of like personality wise a little bit, you know. So right off the bat, we kind of just yeah, you know, got along, which I think helps that dynamic. Um, to touch on qualifying for the Indianapolis 500 in particular, um, the track is a constant changing target with winds moving around, with air temperature moving around, with the track temperature usually coming up through the day. It's really good to have your teammates kind of help you out. So this time around, I was the last one. I had the highest draw. So I think Alex was eighth car to qualify, and Ed was the 22nd car to qualify, and I was the 29th car to qualify. So between the eighth car and the 29th car, the track changes massively. So having the gauge of where the track starts, where the track is going from the eighth attempt to the 22nd attempt to when Ed qualified, and really being able to base some of your changes that you're going to do to try and dial it absolutely perfectly into what they experienced on their run is super important to try and get the most out of it. That was where we were lacking a little bit this year. I think we missed it still a little bit. And that's what got us the qualifying position a little bit deeper in the field. But that's another story. That it is what it is. Yeah, just being able to make changes based off your teammates' response of how they think the track is going, where the track is going, is super important to have a good qualifying around there.
So obviously, you know, new teammate dynamic. You guys have the new logo and the new colors and everything. You guys also had some amazing commercials that MJ filled me in on that were during the broadcast. And we always talk about the IndyCar on Fox commercials. For yours, that's surely happening next year. Hopefully you guys have already started filming. Do you have anything that you think absolutely has to be in your IndyCar on Fox commercial? Anything that, has to be part of your storyline?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I will let that be up to the professionals to see how they can portray me the best.
I don't know.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they know what they're doing, clearly. But I did see a clip of you parking a go-kart, and I think that could be really good. A really good opener.
That would be a good opener. You're right about that. That was back in the day. That was a funny story. The karting track that I kind of grew up driving at, Marieløs Go-Kart or Paintball Center, which tells you guys a lot. Obviously, but no, I've been coming there since I was 5 years old. My parents have a little summer house down in that area close to that karting track, so I've been coming there basically my whole life and gotten to know the owners very well. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent at that place. But then I don't remember when did we record it? Probably 2011, 2012. We recorded this video because I was just messing around with the go-karts. It was doing 180s, and then 180 became 180 and roll a little bit, and then you could get a 180 and then you could roll into a parking spot, and then we came up with this idea of doing this video of where I came flying 180 in between and then park it into this long container. And that video that you guys have saw, that was the second attempt of me trying to do that. Wow. If you look very closely on that video, there's these, what's it called? Places you can put stuff on, shelves.
Shelving?
Yeah. The shelves on the left, the first one doesn't really have any legs, very outwards to where the entrance is. So you can probably think that's where the first attempt went. Try and do it again, and obviously got that going. But posted it to YouTube. Didn't get many views to start with. 1-2 years goes by, and then all of a sudden overnight, the video just goes completely viral. And I think it gained 1 million views within 24 hours at peak. But yeah, it was just funny because it was a couple of years down the road of after we had posted it, it just went completely crazy. I was in Japanese TV. There was a crew coming from the UK over, flew to Denmark to interview me. A bunch of stuff went on, which was I don't know, it was pretty cool.
Do you think you could do it again now, or was it just the magic of the moment, second try, never be replicated?
I think I could do it again. I think I could do it again. If I could still fit in that go-kart. That's the question.
Yeah, we need to see that.
Yeah, that'd be a fun remake.
We have, if our listeners aren't already sold on cheering for you after that story, we have a lot of listeners who are just getting into IndyCar, and they always ask us, who should we root for and why? And so we just wanted to give you a moment if you wanted to just make a pitch for yourself to be the car that they're looking for at the Indy 500.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with this. A little bit of my background. My family, I'm out of a very regular family. My mom is a hairdresser. My dad owns a small car dealership. So it was never really in the cards for me to go racing in the first place because we couldn't afford it. But through my parents' super hard work and remortgaging their house, the same story as many other people, and together with some investment group from Denmark, we kind of made our move to the US to try and pursue these IndyCar ladder system that are in place. It's called the Road to Indy, where it works the way that if you win one championship, you get a scholarship to move on to the next level. So at the end of the day, I became one of 2 drivers to have ever won all 3 ranks of the Road to Indy. won Indy USF 2000, Indy Pro 2000, and Indy Next lastly in 2023. So I've really had to work my way through, and it's really been my whole career. It's been either I win or I'm probably not racing the following year. So that's kind of been the pressure that we have been carrying through my whole career, but eventually made it here through winning these championships. And yeah, ultimately that's what's gotten me where I am today.
And a lot of them are also a huge fan of your TikTok presence, by the way, which I think is doing a wonderful job of earning you some fans. And I have to say,
Yeah.
you're a great lip syncer. You nailed
Thank
the
you.
lip sync. Do you like? I feel like between that and the commercials, I'm starting to believe you also have a career in acting. By the way, if you want to on the side of IndyCar, do a little bit of acting.
Probably not. Probably not. But yeah, no. I mean, those commercials were super fun to make as well. I'd never really been around a full professional film crew, which was I mean, it was a big setup. There was probably, I don't know, 30, 40 people running around. I mean, cameras everywhere, runners back and forward to tell us where to be and what to do, and directors and all this sort of stuff. But I very quickly realized that that's probably not where I'm going to take my career. It did turn out really well, and I think that's more down to great directing and great guidance more than my personal acting skills. But no, it turned out really cool, and it was a fun experience.
Well, this is the last question we have for you, and it's kind of a thing that we do with all of our guests. We basically just let you tell us what the big picture goal is, what's next for you, or what you want to see happen for yourself. It's kind of a put it out into the universe, manifest it sort of
Manifesting
thing.
it.
I will say we have a pretty good record for this working. I'm not going to go into it. Works pretty well, so feel free to put whatever you want out in the universe.
Win the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good one. And yeah,
hard one to predict for you guys probably.
But winning the Indy 500, obviously we anticipated that being your manifest, and me and MJ were that'd be really sick if it could happen, and he manifested on the pod. And it'll be another check on our the times the manifest works. So we appreciate it.
Well, it's all down to you guys now. Now I put it out of the world. You said what you said. So if I don't win, I'll come back to haunt you guys.
Yeah, you can block us on TikTok and everything. Yeah, we won't take it.
No.
But yeah, thank you so much again for all of the time that you've given us in such a busy week. And we know who we're rooting for, and we hope some of the Lapstown listeners are going to put some good energy out there for you. And have a great time.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you guys for having me.